Hello everybody, my name is Haydee Montemayor and I'm here to present you with a review for Leonie Dawson's Workbooks for 2015. One of the tools that has truly helped me start this 2015 with the most momentum, energy, enthusiasm, focus, and alignment ever is Leonie Dawson's 2015 Create Your Shining Year Workbook. If you haven't heard of it, or even if you have heard of it and have never used it, you're in for a great treat. Who is Leonie Dawson? Leonie Dawson is a mentor, author, visual artist, and dedicated wife and mother. She is an inspiration to her 50,000 plus subscribers. Her yearly workbooks have been annual bestsellers for the last half-decade. What is the purpose behind the 2015 Create Your Shining Year Workbook? The 2015 Create Your Shining Year Workbook is an incredibly popular and useful tool to increase the probability of making this year highly productive and impactful by helping you plan it out. Over the last 6 years, thousands of women have used this workbook with the most amazing results. When you place your order for the workbook, you'll also get a colorful free digital calendar that you can print out and that will allow you to have monthly check-ins with yourself to make sure that you're on track for reaching your goals. The workbook itself consists of beautiful and colorful pages that explain the exercises briefly and in an inspirational manner, which are followed by worksheets for you to fill out. What makes this workbook special? You know the saying that says that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover? Well, in this case, you should judge it by its cover. Take a look at it. If you think this workbook is beautiful and magnetic on the outside, wait until you see it on the inside. It's gorgeous. There are literally splashes of color everywhere, but the color doesn't detract you from your ability to focus. On the contrary, your creativity is heightened no matter how anti-planners or anti-calendars you are. And using a plain pencil or pen to write on this beauty seems almost like counterproductive. I mean, you could use those utensils, but in my case, I found that colored markers were the best thing that I could use to enhance the beauty of the workbook itself. They are more than just a workbook. It may seem like I'm just trying to convince you to buy one, but really, I'm just trying to convince you to give yourself the gift of experiencing it, not for my sake or benefit, but for yours. To me, this workbook is more than just a workbook. It's a piece of my life. It's where my life, my dreams, and my goals are plastered. It's my to-do list for my life. It's where the seeds are planted. And these workbooks are so special that I plan on collecting them like if they're diaries, because I like to look back one day and say to myself, wow, you've really come a long way. And I have, and you can too, especially when you honor your inner voice. The workbook isn't special just for me. In the internet marketing world, having 50,000 subscribers is amazing, but having 80% of those subscribers and/or followers buy this book, because after all, not everybody who is her subscriber buys and not all of her buyers subscribe, is mind-blowing. Yep, the poof kind of mind-blowing. And honestly, 40,000 workbook users can't be wrong. Is it normal to feel hesitant about buying this 2015 workbook? It is very normal to feel hesitant. As a matter of fact, I have a confession to make. I've been a Leonie Dawson subscriber for a couple of years, but I had never purchased anything from her. The freebies that I had gotten from her on her site were great, but I still didn't take the plunge. I had seen and heard rave reviews about this workbook, and I still hesitated. It wasn't until 2014 was winding down that I noticed that I really needed to spark some love into 2015. And after doing some research, I decided to buy this workbook. It wasn't because of anything that anybody said in my research in particular, because you'll find both support and lack of support for Leonie and her work out there, but it was because I actually felt like I needed to tune into myself in a unique way. Do you feel that? If so, honor that feeling. Because in my case, purchasing this workbook was definitely one of the top 5 purchases that I made last year. And the best thing is that this gift, which I gave to myself as an early Christmas gift, is a gift that will keep on giving both in 2015 and for the rest of my life. I know that sounds a little bit exaggerated, but it's true, because planning or failing to plan impacts your life. What type of workbooks are there? Before we get into what type of workbooks there are, let me ask you, what do you want help with? Your life in general or your business? Or both your life and your business? There are 2 formats of the workbook that you can get, either digital or printed. But there are more choices than that. Let's explore what they are and what their cost is. What do the workbooks actually cost? You can get the digital version to help you improve your life for $9.95, which you can immediately download to your computer and print to start working on it. You can also buy the digital version to help you improve your business for $9.95, which you can immediately download to your computer and print to start working on it. Also, you can get the digital version to help you improve both your business and your life for $17.90. By ordering this combined version of life and business, you save 10%, which is a $2 savings. You'll be able to download it to your computer and print and start working on it. Lastly, you can get the Life and Business printed book for $24.95, which is a hard copy of the book that will be delivered to your home. And guess what? If you buy the printed version, you get 2 bonuses. The first bonus is a bonus fold-out A2 full color 2015 wall planner. Bonus number 2 is free access to Life and Biz digital workbooks as a bonus to start working on right away, which is an extra bonus this year and something that's not always offered. What does the cost break down to? Before you think that you don't need an extra and expensive workbook or planner when you could just use any generic calendar or planner that isn't necessarily focusing on moving your business and your life forward, let me do the math for you. If you buy the digital version to help improve your life for $9.95, the cost for it is actually 3 cents per day. If you buy the digital version to help you improve your business for $9.95, it's also 3 cents per day. If you buy the digital version to help you improve both your business and your life, it'll be 5 cents a day for both versions. Lastly, you can get the Life plus Business printed book for $24.95, which is a 7 cents a day investment for both versions as well. Where can you buy Leonie Dawson's 2015 workbook? Leonie has informed us through a January 2015 newsletter that the workbooks have been flying off the shelf this month, meaning January 2015. And since she had shared when they were first available for sale that they were selling faster than they had in prior years, I was sure to grab mine as soon as I decided to treat myself to one. Just so you know, Leonie did sell her workbooks for prior years on Amazon and her site, but this year, she is only selling her 2015 workbooks on her site, which you could find a link for down below. Insider tips about the digital version. If you're planning on buying a digital version so that you can type in your answers and then print out your pages on your mobile device or on your computer, that's great. But I would recommend that you price the cost of printing out your pages first. If money is not an issue for you, then you don't have to worry about doing this. However, if you're planning on printing yours at home, let me tell you that the pages inside are in bright colors. You can always print them in black and white, but honestly, having the pages in color adds a lot to the experience. It makes filling up the workbook more inviting and more uplifting. The downside to printing in color, as you know, is that it could be more expensive than printing it in black and white. Just so you know how to factor in the price of ink, let me share that the Life ebook is 100 pages. The Biz ebook is 80 pages. And the Life and Biz ebook combined, therefore, is 180 color pages. If you're not going to print these pages at home using your own ink, I highly recommend requesting a pricing quote at your local print shop by providing them with the total number of pages you're looking to print and whether these will be in color or not. Why? As strange as it seems, in my area, by requesting a quote, I found out that it was less expensive for me to buy the actual printed workbook than to print the workbook at my local print shop. Crazy, right? I know. The benefit of buying a digital ebook or getting them for free this year is that you can print any of the pages that speak to you the most and put them up on a wall or even frame them. Yes, they're that pretty. But most importantly, they invite you to write things that you'll want to revisit. The digital version has a caveat that I like for you to be aware of, and that is that some people may experience issues in being able to type in their information and have it saved even after they click save. But it may work for you. Besides, even if it doesn't, you can either print out all the pages and fill them out by hand, or you can fill out the pages digitally and immediately print them out. Or you can use the mobile apps that Leonie recommends, which are Adobe Reader, which, by the way, you will also need in order to be able to try to fill out your workbook on your computer, Good Reader, Notability, Notes Plus. As a bonus, let me just say that I recommend that you try out NoteShelf. It's my favorite app for annotating, which means writing on the PDF, highlighting it, and even adding pictures to draw attention to whatever it is that you want to remember via a mobile device. If you use a mobile device to fill out your workbook digitally, you can then send it to yourself as an email attachment, download it onto your computer, and then print it out, whether at home or at a print shop, with your own writing on it. How cool is that? My first impressions of the 2015 Create Your Shining Year Workbook. I was so happy that I ordered the Leonie Dawson Workbook that it made me happy just thinking about the day that it would finally arrive. When I received it, I was just pleased with the packaging, the condition, and seeing the product live. Other than the fact that I would prefer the cover to be thicker and sturdier, it was love at first sight. The workbook is truly beautiful. How I filled it out. I started filling the workbook out after Christmas when things had settled down a bit. The pages that I thought were the most important to accomplish prior to the last day of the year were the 2014 closing ceremony workbook pages, which invite you to release the previous year with lots of love and gratitude. But then again, it's never too late to reflect on the past to improve the odds of a more glorious present. Filling out this workbook is a great activity that you can do with a family member or a friend on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, or alone. It is just so refreshing, and that's what I like to do. I like to fill it out when I'm alone because when I'm doing something as enjoyable as this, I certainly don't want to be distracted. My number one tip for filling out the Leonie Dawson workbooks. My number one tip for filling these workbooks out is to enjoy the process. If we don't enjoy dreaming about, envisioning, and planning out how we'll achieve our goals, what makes us think that we'll love accomplishing them? We might be able to do them, most likely, but we won't love the process fully. My approach to completing the workbook. Since I have limited alone time, which is when I feel the most creative, I actually have the workbook on my desk, open to the page where I left off, with my colorful markers next to it, so I could work on it in the following situations. Whenever my computer is low, when I'm starting up or shutting my computer down, when I need to take a break, when I need to gain more clarity, and when I want to have fun. Even though I like to sit down and fill it all out, in a way, filling it out little by little is like enjoying a decadent dessert, one bite at a time. The number one objection you need to get over. If you're a go-getter, the number one objection you'll have is that you'll think that you don't have time to plan. That's not the case because usually when you don't plan, you waste more time trying things out that don't work. You could have actually saved yourself some time by actually thinking about what you want to achieve, especially if you're a go-getter and you have a bajillion things that you do, that you want to do, and that you need to do. Surely you can watch or read one less show, movie, YouTube video, or social media post. Each page takes roughly 5 minutes. It depends on how willing you are to listen to your intuition, meaning your heart and inner voice, and just letting that voice express itself. Plus, as Leonie says, if something about an activity doesn't speak to you, you can choose not to do it. It's no big deal. Me, I've been filling every page out, and I'm still making great progress. What have I learned from the workbook so far? I have confirmed what I propose on my Love and Treasure website, and that is the importance of asking the right questions that make you reflect on your life so that you can feel in control of it. It's a great resource. Here's why I love the 2015 Create Your Shining Year Workbook. First of all, it's the perfect quote-unquote excuse for you to sit down, breathe, reflect on last year, and plan for 2015. Second of all, in the prior post, I mentioned that my core desire feelings from Danielle Laporte's The Desire Map were love, freedom, peace, metamorphosis, and expansion. Number 3, by planning, I get to increase all of my core desire feelings and my feeling of satisfaction. Taking the time to reflect on my life in 2014 and what I envision for 2015 is absolutely useful. It allows me to live more consciously. Number 4, looking at the workbook makes the creative part of my brain light up. Number 5, I love analyzing and reflecting, and the workbook fuels my need for introspection. Number 6, I use the colorful markers I bought at Erin Condren to ensure that my writing is bright on the page, but that my writing doesn't go through the page. However, I recently came across these erasable pens that I might switch to. Why? They're colorful. If you've used erasable pens many moons ago, you'll love these because they actually do erase completely. Plus, they're retractable, so you can just write without worrying about putting the cap back on. Who would I recommend the workbook to? I would recommend this workbook for you, of course, as long as you have an open mind to artsy. You may think that you're really linear and systematic, but trust me when I say that that may be one of your issues which prevents you from moving forward. This workbook is also great for your sister, your best friend, your mom, and you if you're a mom. Artsy people in your life, entrepreneurs, which hopefully includes you, friends who have birthdays in October, November, December, and January, especially those in December. It must be tough having a birthday that month, and a little extra something as nice as this wouldn't hurt. I personally know a lot of people who have a birthday in January, but any person who has any birthday throughout the year would appreciate this gift. In some, it's for people who have visions and dreams they'd like to achieve. Who would I not recommend the workbook for? As much as I love it, I have actually had to put a brake on myself when sharing this workbook with others. It's sad to say that some people may be turned off by the allusions to spirituality. They're gorgeous though. Besides, it's just an image that we're talking about. So for that reason, the people whom I wouldn't recommend this workbook for are people that you know who are too religious and that you have a gut feeling could be offended, or worse yet, ignore this workbook completely if you gifted them one. I wrote an article about the lame misunderstandings that we run into when it comes to religion and spirituality, when in reality, we should just be focusing on love. You're welcome to read it. When I recommend filling the workbook out, I purchased the workbook in early December to ensure that I had enough time to write in it before 2014 ended, as a way of putting a mental end to that wonderful year. I highly recommend that you sign up to Leonie Dawson's newsletter so that you are the first to know about when the 2016 workbook comes out. You can sign up to Leonie's newsletter by clicking the link below. My favorite sections of the workbook. One of my favorite sections in the book starts off on page 2. Why so early in the book? For 2 reasons. The first is that Leonie dedicates the book to you, and she also says that a portion of the profits from this workbook will go to a range of charities that support the world to become an even better place. She adds, fantastic years don't happen by chance, however. We need to vision it, dream it, map it out, plan it, and make it happen. Here are some of my favorite pages from the Life and Business printed workbook. I enjoyed the 2014 closing ceremony greatly because it was nice to take inventory of the wonderful things I accomplished in order to rev up 2015. I especially liked page 21, where I got to put pictures of what I'm grateful for, which of course included my loved ones. I like page 25 that asks about what I want to feel and experience in 2015 because it shifts your mind from a do mentality to an enjoy mentality. Page 28, things that I'll do when everything sucks. I hope I don't need to reference this page often. Page 29, affirmations I could turn to. Page 30, ritual days that invite me to schedule in things that I love into my calendar. Love that. Page 31, what I want to give myself this year. And in my case, it wasn't things, but rather feelings. Page 31 again, what I like to release this year. It's an insightful exercise that helps you bring up the lame stories you tell yourself year after year and that just get in the way of expanding the radiance you can give. Page 37 through 40, 100 things to do, where you write down 100 things you'd like to do, whether they are big or small. It's easy to fill this out, actually. Page 42, my mottos. 5 mottos. How powerful short phrases can be. Page 43, 10 things to celebrate yourself for. You don't often get encouraged to celebrate yourself, and this is the perfect excuse to applaud yourself for all that you are and all that you do. Page 51, amazing habits that you'll incorporate as much as possible into your day but won't penalize yourself if you don't, because even a handful of these habits can move you forward. I'm still working through the workbook. I'm sure I'll come across more valuable activities that I love. What are my expectations of the 2015 Create Your Shining Year workbook? Even though this workbook has yielded wonderful results for thousands of women, I am aware of the fact that I have to do the work. So I will fill it out in an enjoyable way, reference it often, have monthly check-ins with myself, incorporate the to-dos into my daily planner, do the work. I'm also looking forward to putting a colorful and proud check mark next to these items. Am I a fan for life? You betcha. I'm planning on buying this Create Your Shining Year workbook for years to come. So check it out. Even if you decide that it's not for you, which I highly, highly, highly doubt, I can assure you that there will be someone in your life that would love and treasure it. Now it's your turn. Have you used these Create Your Shining Year workbooks? What are your thoughts on them? What results have you gotten? Leave your comments below, and after you do, grab a copy for someone who you think needs to see life on the bright side.